Hi, I'm Joe, and I play Judge Brack.
My name is Ali Waxman, and I will be playing Hedda-Erik.
Hello, my name is Eric Roth, and I will be playing Tessman.
Well, is your wife reasonably pleased?
Yes, well, we can't thank you enough. I mean, she tells me there are still 1 or 2 small changes to be made, and a few things she still needs, so I expect we shall have to make a few minor purchases.
Really?
Oh, but we won't be bothering you anymore. Hedda assures me she will see to it herself. Shall we sit down? Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Thank you. This will only be for a brief moment. There is something I wanted to talk to you about, Tessman.
Is there? Oh, I know. The after-dinner conversations now, isn't it? Fundamentals, hmm?
Do you mean the financial agreements? No. Oh, no. There's nothing very pressing about them. Although, I'm beginning to wish we could set about things a little bit more modestly.
But how could we have? What about Hedda? You know her well enough by now, don't you? You couldn't honestly expect me to allow her to live a life of genteel poverty.
No, well, that is one of the problem, isn't it?
Anyway now, I'm sure it won't be long until I receive my appointment.
Yes, well, yes, Tessman, you must remember that that sort of thing is quite often a lengthy process.
You haven't heard anything about it, have you?
No, nothing definite. There is one thing. I do have one piece of news for you.
What?
It's concerning your old friend, Eilert Lovborg. You know how he has arrived back in town.
Oh, yes, I know.
And how did you find that out?
That friend of Hedda's told us.
Oh, yes. What was her name again? I'm afraid I did not catch it.
Mrs. Elsten.
Ah, yes, the sheriff's wife, yes. Yes, yes. He's been living up around there somewhere, hasn't he?
Yes, and I was delighted to hear that he had turned over a new leaf.
Apparently.
Extraordinary. And I gather he's published a new book, hasn't he?
He has, yes.
And it seems to have created something of a sensation?
From what I hear, it's quite an unusual sensation.
Extraordinary. That's really very good news, isn't it? He's exceptionally talented. I was terribly afraid he would go completely to pieces.
That's what everyone else thought, too.
What's he going to do now? How's he going to make a living? Hmm?
Tessman is always worried about how people are going to make a living.
We were just talking about poor Eilert Lovborg, dear.
Oh? What's the matter with him?
Well, he's frittered away his inheritance a long time ago, and he can hardly put out a new book every week, can he? So I was just wondering what was going to become of him.
I might be able to give you some information about that.
Oh?
Well, you must remember that his relatives have quite a lot of influence.
Yes, but unfortunately they've completely washed their hands of him.
Yes, but at one point he was considered to be the white hope of the family.
Yes, yes, at one time, but he ruined that himself.
Who knows? While he was at Sheriff Elfsted's, they're supposed to have rescued him.
And then there is this book he's published.
Yes, well, I hope to God they can find him something to do. I've just invited him over, this evening, in fact, Hedda.
But Tessman, I thought you were coming to my bachelor party this evening. You promised last night, if you remember, on the quay.
Had you forgotten, Tessman?
Oh, yes, completely.
Anyway, I'm sure he will not come.
What makes you say that? Hmm?
My dear Tessman, and you too, Mrs. Tessman, there is something I think it would not be fair not to tell you about. It's
about Eilert?
It's about you and him.
Well, then you better tell us.
Well, you must remember to be prepared for your appointment, not to be quite as automatic as you hope and expect.
Why? Has it been blocked in some way? Hmm?
It is possible that the award of the post may depend on the result of A small competition.
A competition? What about that, Hedda? Extraordinary.
So that's it.
But against whom? Surely not.
Precisely. Violet Lum.
That's incredible. That's impossible, isn't it?
All the same, I do believe this is what's going to happen.
But Judge Brack, that would be unbelievably inconsiderate. I mean, we were counting on that, Hedda and I. mean, we ran up all those debts and borrowed money from Auntie Julie as well. I mean, my God, I'd more or less been promised that job, hadn't I?
Now calm down, Tessman. I am absolutely positive that you will get it in the end. But it will be after this little competition.
It's quite exciting, isn't it, Tessman? Like a race.
Oh, Hedda, my dear, I don't see how you can be so casual about all this.
But I'm not. I'm really quite anxious to see what happens.
In any case, Mrs. Tessman, I do believe it's quite important that you should know what the situation is. And that will be before you start making those little purchases I gather you're threatening.
I don't see what difference this can make.
Don't you? Well, that is completely up to you then. Goodbye. And Tessman, when I will take my afternoon walk, I will call by to collect you.
Yes, do. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not sure what to make of this.
Goodbye, Judge. Come back soon.
I will. Goodbye. Goodbye, Tessman.
Goodbye, Judge. I'm sorry about all this. See, Hedda, that's what comes of setting off on these wild adventures, isn't it?
Experienced at that, are you?
Well, you have to admit, it was rather adventurous to marry and set up home on nothing but expectations.
You may be right.
We have our dream home, don't we? Our dream house. A house we fell in love with, you might almost say, wouldn't you think?
I thought we agreed that we were going to lead an active social life. Open house.
My God, yes, I was really looking forward to that. Seeing you at the head of your chosen circle. Yes. Well, it seems we'll have to make do with each other, Hedda. And Auntie Julie will be able to come over quite often, but things ought to have been very different for you. Quite different.
I suppose I shan't be able to have my butler. That'll be the first thing.
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid servants are completely out of the question.
And the horse I was going to have.
Horse?
I suppose I better put that right out of my mind.
Good God, yes. I think that goes without saying.
Well, anyway, I still have one diversion to keep me going while I'm waiting.
Well, I'm very glad to hear it. What is it, Hedda?
My pistols, George.
Your pistols?
General Gabler's pistols.
But, Hedda, don't play with those dangerous things. For God's sake, for my sake,